Three, two, one. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games, old and new. My name is Tyler Everett. It is December 16th, 2017, and this is episode 58. Welcome back to the show, my good friend, my confidant, Brian Maxwell. How are you doing, sir?
Real good, man. How you doing tonight?
So good. It's nice and... I got my little electric heater down here in the basement. It's nice and cozy. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty... festive. I'm in the holiday spirit tonight, Brian.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? Luke Phillips is also here, returning once again, triumphant.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
I am here. I'm kind of cold. It's been a chilly week here, and I'm actually I'm an old man. I have a blanket on my legs to keep my legs warm, and
You have a shawl?
shawl hood.
Luke Phillips, you an old man.
I am an old man.
You can come over and hang out with me. I got a little heater. Keep us nice and warm.
Okay, we'll toast marshmallows next to your heater.
Sounds like a plan. Hey, so we saw Star Wars last night. We're not even gonna just sugarcoat it. We're not gonna talk about spoilers.
I was expecting you to do a nice segue of like,
No.
hey, speaking of roasting things, we
Nope.
saw
Yeah.
Star Wars.
No, that's not bad, Luke.
Yeah, that's pretty
not
good.
bad. That's a good segue. Yeah, without getting into spoilers, don't worry. If you haven't seen Star Wars, we're not gonna ruin it for you. But I think we can share our emotions about it without ruffling too many feathers. If that bugs you, just skip ahead like 5 minutes. You know, you don't have to hear us get all upset about it or anything. But yeah, I didn't love it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine.
It's it's a thing. It exists. They had some really great moments and some really bad moments.
Yeah.
It's mostly getting great praise. A lot of people loved it.
It depends on where you look.
Does it? Yeah, don't look
Yep.
at Reddit.
Reddit is dumping on it mostly.
Seems to be the right platform for it.
Yeah, Reddit dumps on most things though, so that's
Yeah. Maybe
Expected.
people are still just happy that it's not the prequels. Maybe they're just like, glorious.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not the Attack of the Clones.
a lot of people really
better
didn't
than
like Rogue
Phantom
One,
Menace.
and I didn't really like Rogue One that much either. So
It kind of felt, it felt similar. Like, I don't know.
it seemed
kind
like
of take it or
the
leave
opposite.
it.
It seemed like Rogue One kind of didn't really. It was just kind of a plain Jane story. You didn't really get a whole lot of risks
Yeah, there
or
was
chances.
some flash, but I didn't really get invested in any of the characters or any part of it, really.
And then with The Last Jedi, they kind of went the opposite direction and were like, just screw all your expectations. What you think about Star Wars that's dead. We're changing everything. It's kind of wacky. There's some real crazy stuff that
Yeah.
happens. So
Yeah, without spoiling things, something that bugs me is when they feel like they have to throw in witty quips all the time. Like, it's okay for Star Wars to be silly. It's always had silly moments, but let the serious moments be serious.
yeah,
that's really a lot of my problems with the Marvel movies.
kind of the
There always
tone.
has to be
I've heard someone else say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a similar vibe where it's like we're always trying to be the cool kid in class, trying to be funny constantly. And,
you need to joke every 1.5 minutes, or else you're not going to keep the audience's attention.
I mean, like the way Episode 7 ended, when they picked that scene up in Episode 8, didn't like the way they did that.
That transition.
It's a serious moment. It's a big moment.
Yeah,
Let it be a big moment and don't try to make funny.
yeah. So, I mean, go see it for yourself. I feel like I had a good time. I'm glad I saw it. We went to Denny's afterwards and it had a real good time dissecting it.
Yeah, there was some good stuff there, and a lot of it just wasn't handled very well. A lot of it was really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Some of the character arcs were really obvious and kind of clumsily, kind of ham-fisted.
I think
The opening segment was fantastic. The whole middle part didn't really make much sense, with one plot line not even needing to be there. And then some decent stuff at the end.
I think it still puts them in a decent spot for episode 9. I think the way that like the bigger picture story is still kind of interesting and going in a neat direction.
Overall, yes.
And I feel like the thing that bums me out the most is I feel like some of those things that felt really kind of ham-fisted and done too quick, or they didn't get enough time. I feel like if we had like a Star Wars, the Game of Thrones style, hour-long episodes and getting like 12 episodes a year or something like that.
Taking our time getting there.
I feel like that story could have gone some places that it hinted at, and it kind of like zoomed past, but didn't feel like it got a chance to really flesh it out. So I don't know. I thought I heard a rumor that something like that was happening, that there was a Star Wars TV thing in the works. No, it was Lord of the Rings. Never mind. It wasn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Lord of the Rings, which I assume is going to be garbage. I just have no faith in that being good.
Do
anymore.
not trust to hope.
Yeah, it has forsaken these lands. That's true. Anyway.
Don't worry, episode 9 is where it all comes together.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, like episode 9, we're hoping that episode 58, Quest Log, all comes together, and we're going to do that and talk about the games we've been playing right about nowish. Hey there, Brian.
Hey, it's so weird. It's so weird when you get into the Let's Play segment, because I just hear silence and we all just sit quietly for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Welcome
awkward
to
silence on our end.
Yeah. Yep. Someday I will be able to get a sound mixer and I'll know what I'm doing and I can pipe that all over to you and it'll be super great. But until
Episode
then,
59.
you're just gonna have
It is
to
not this
sit
day.
in silence and be awkward. But hey, man, you played Battle Chef Brigade, and that sure looks like a thing that you did.
Speaking of awkward things,
Yeah. What's up with Battle Chef Brigade?
I picked it up on the Switch because I need something besides Stardew Valley to play on my Switch.
Mhm.
It's a blasphemy, I know, but I need a little variety. Battle Chef Brigade is basically Iron Chef.
Okay.
Like you've got people who are facing off under a time limit trying to cook meals for these judges. So like there's a series of showdowns where you're having these cooking competitions. Like it'll start with like 6 minutes on the clock and you run out and you fight and kill monsters and bring their meat back and cook it. And it's it's kind of a match 3 game. Like you've got gems on the screen and different monster meat gives you different color gems and you rotate them into specific arrangements.
Okay. It's different.
Yeah, it's kind of a lighthearted, fun thing. I'm enjoying it so far. I got a couple of hours into it. It's real tongue in cheek. Doesn't take itself too seriously. If that wasn't obvious from the premise, but
yeah, you're hanging out with Belchior there, and he's giving you some cooking tips. That's pretty good.
Yep. Like you get gear and equip gear that gives you different bonuses or lets you like do the cooking in specific different ways. I like the way the cooking works is you've got a group of 4 gems like in a box configuration, and hitting a button rotates them. So it's not quite like Bejeweled. It's not that kind of thing where you're just sliding one gem, like you're rotating them.
Gotcha.
So that kind of requires some different pattern recognition.
That's neat. Is it how's it running around? When you
Running around's all right.
Yeah, you're just it's kind of like a 2D platformy kind of beat 'em up thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. So you run out, you get your ingredients, you run back and cook some, and run back out and get some more, and try to get as much done as you can before the time runs out.
Well, it seems like a
This
good.
was on Switch, you said?
Yep, it's on Switch, it's on Steam.
Yeah, I thought I saw Steam pop up and say you were playing it on Steam.
Nope, just on my Switch.
Are they
It's a good
linked
Switch game.
somehow?
Not that they've told me.
We're going to have to test this after the show, because I could have swore I saw this pop up on Steam.
Have you used your Switch recently? Did you see me?
Were you
No,
using-
I haven't touched my Switch in a few weeks.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good Switch game though. Like
It
Like the
sounds
battles
like it.
take 5 or 6 minutes. You know, it's good for playing for 15 minutes at a time, and I don't really want to marathon it. It's not that kind of game. But
Mhm.
Yeah, you got little puzzly bits. You got a little. It's good. It seems like a good pick up and put down gameplay. That's good.
yeah, and the artwork's got this kind of almost like a watercolor vibe
Yeah, it's neat.
to it.
Dig that. Looks like a pencil and watercolor kind of thing going on. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm liking it. It's unique.
I can always count on you, Brian, to find unique stuff to talk about.
Yep.
That's cool.
That's something that gets my attention when it's just like, oh, this isn't like anything I've played 100 times before.
Well, Brian, let me tell you about something that I have played 100 times before. It's World of Warcraft. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but I'm a sucker for holiday events in games. I am a big fan of
Yeah.
that.
I always liked that.
It is the Feast of Wintervale has just begun in World of Warcraft, and that is it's the holiday equivalent, the Christmas equivalent in Azeroth, and you get to run around. Let me see if I can find it because I played for a little bit here.
I remember my WoW days, like on Christmas morning being like, no, we can't leave yet. I need to finish,
I gotta
need to finish
unpack,
opening my presents.
gotta unpack
Yeah,
my
there's
gift
been a
from-
few Christmas Day mornings where it's like, well, I'm gonna be late to the parents' house because I'm playing World of Warcraft this morning.
I have to go kill the Grinch.
Yep, I went and did that. Killed the Grinch, freed Metzen the reindeer. It's all the same stuff that's been there for years. They've slowly added a couple things to it, but it's mostly stayed the same from what I can tell. I didn't play for very long, maybe about a half an hour, and I went and killed the Grinch, and yeah, it's good to see that stuff again. It's been so long since I've been active during the holidays. Like, the last time was probably during Cataclysm, and yeah, it's kind of neat that it's all still there. There's some nostalgia built into it. It's almost a tradition at this point. So yeah, I'm gonna go bake some gingerbread cookies and get some ice cold milk and bring it back to Great Father Winter, who is just a orc dressed up as Santa Claus underneath a big pine tree in the middle of Orgrimmar, and yeah, it's spread some holiday cheer through Azeroth.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You have Christmas lights, strung all over the city.
Yep, and it's not just they do it to all the different inns and stuff throughout the world. A lot of the just little random places you wouldn't expect it. There'll be Christmas lights or Christmas tree or snowman or whatever. I noticed out in the Alterac Valley hills and mountains area, there's holiday snow piles, so you can go and collect snowballs right out of the ground. They're just little piles of snow dotted around that you can loot and pick up snowballs. There's all kinds of toys and things they've added to the game. I got a little mechanical gorilla that hops around on the ground and smashes stuff, and I don't know, it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat little thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna be playing a little bit of that, and the normal stuff. I'm getting pretty geared up. I'm starting to do mythic dungeons now, which are super cool. The 5-man content in WoW has always been more appealing to me than the raids, or even the PvP stuff. I used to love world PvP, that was kind of my thing, but dungeon runs were always a thing I fell back on. And in Legion, they've expanded that, so now Mythic Dungeons have a mode very, very similar to Diablo 3's Greater Rifts, where the dungeon gains like a level. So you'll go into your 5-man dungeon with your pre-made team. There will be an altar in the very middle when you first spawn in, and you interact with that altar. You put your keystone in, and I believe you're able to select what level you want to run. So what difficulty, and it's infinite. It just scales progressively. So you might be doing level 2. You might clear that super easy, come back and be able to do a level 5 the next time. The gear rewards scale up the higher you go, but they also
Can you find some good stuff?
Yeah, the gear that you get from Mythics, they call it Mythic Plus when you use that mode. I want to say rivals the stuff that you get from raiding. So it's truly end game content that will get you what you need. the dungeons will gain affixes, so like all the enemies might get increased health or armor. They might all get fire abilities, so they have a fire aura around them. So it makes it harder for melee characters. Like there's different challenges that start to unlock,
Right.
and those will pile up as you get higher and higher through that stuff. So it's something where like if you had a core group of people that were running them, it would be a thing where you'd gear to a certain point and be like, okay, we gotta scale that back a little bit, and you'd make progress throughout and kind of
Yeah,
progressively.
definitely
get
sounds
better.
like they spilled some Diablo in your WoW
Big time, yeah,
for sure.
Yep, it's
Seems like a
very
good
similar.
thing.
Yeah,
Seems like a decent combination.
yeah, for sure, and that's something that seems like they're just able to. Oh, that was crash the game there. Something bad happened. Okay, the yeah, they're adding all kinds of different options, different ways to play the game. Like the world quest system is borrowed right from adventure mode in Diablo 3. So you go to an area and you'll just see different quests around that map. Then you can decide to go out and do them. You don't have to pick them up from a quest giver. They're not the same as dailies, but they do refresh every day. And you just pop into the zone, and everybody that's there can help you do it. You all get credit. It's pretty good, so I've been doing those a whole lot, trying to get my reputation up. There's these huge, expansive storylines that are like comparable to to what you'd play in a Assassin's Creed game or something. It might be a 20-hour story that you're putting in. There's this region called Suramar, and I've been trying to progress through that storyline, and it's like playing just a regular, video game. That kind of blew me away. I don't know. I'm getting a whole lot of value for my my $15.
Yeah, you need to stop talking about this because I nearly bit the bullet and resub last night. The only thing that stopped me was the fact that it was 1:30 in the morning and I didn't have it downloaded.
I don't know, man. It's
It's appealing. I wish I could love it again. But I think a lot of my WoW fondness was just like the sense of wonder, because I'd never played anything like this before. I'd never played in a world this massive before, and I didn't know what was on the other side of those mountains. And kind of once I've been there and seen it, I can't recapture that feeling.
Yeah,
It's,
mine was a sense of camaraderie and friendship with people I made in my clan. You just hop in and sit on Orgrimmar Bank or go farming herbs for 5 hours and just talk about
It was social.
whatever. Yeah, it was a social interaction without leaving the house,
Nice.
which is what I'm doing right now. It's very normal.
yeah. Well, I mean, there are new mountains, Brian. There's new mountains to see.
I know.
There's and it's good, man. The writing is pretty good in spots. It is silly still. There's still a lot of goofiness. Like
Yeah.
I said,
It never took itself seriously.
Yeah, but the parts that are serious are pretty serious. Like, I mean, feels weird to talk about spoilers for World of Warcraft. So I don't know. But there's Suramar. They're a race of elves called the Nightborn, and they're like mana addicted elves. They have their own version of the Sunwell, kind of like the Blood Elves, but it's the Moonwell, and it's bad. It's like real bad. They turn into these things called the Withered, and they're like these just anorexic, husk-looking elves if they don't have mana. And so there's this whole class system where the pureblood ones are all drinking. I think they call it arc wine, and they're well fed and they look real beautiful and fine. And there's like this whole seedy underbelly of these elves that are just withering away, and they basically become feral after a while. And there's this whole part where you're like trying to steal wine and get it to little kids and stuff and save their parents. And like it was actually kind of like it pulled on my heartstrings a little bit. I'm giving narc wine to little kids so they don't turn into feral monsters and whatever. I wasn't expecting to be that invested in the story, and it's cool to be an active part of that. That is ultimately why I'm sticking with this, because 13 years later, this still feels like something that is mine. I'm part of that story. And I don't know, nothing else that I've played has kind of stuck with me that long and been a thing that's relevant for that long. So I'm happy to be back.
Well,
It's
I
good.
can appreciate that.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Every time I've tried going back to it a few times, and I get all psyched up for it, and then as soon as I get back in the world, there's something where it's just like, oh fuck this, I don't know, I've been here before, I don't care about this.
I think
don't
there was
know
a
what it
time
is.
where you and I tried to play it for a little bit, and it was completely mindless. Like you were killing stuff before even like you'd use one ability and just one shot stuff, even in garbage gear at level 4. And that is something that they're addressing very soon. There's a patch coming out which adds this level scaling to the whole world. So it was a really bad experience for a while, and it still is. Where like you'll be level 3 in the very starting zone, and you'll get to a point where you'll out level the content that you're in. So like you'll be level 7, and all the quests will turn green and start not giving very much experience because you're getting so much and leveling so fast. They're really changing that whole arc. So you'll be able to stay in a zone now from like 1 to 30 or 40 or something like that in those starting
interesting.
zones, and play the whole content and stay there, but you're still getting levels. You don't out level the stuff anymore.
That's good, because I know the game has changed a lot since I played. Like, I was into it back in vanilla, and like when I came back like a year or two ago, just everything felt completely trivial. Like,
And
it
that's
was just no fun. And I know people people don't want to take their time leveling; they just want to blow through 1 to whatever. But
right. And so this way, it's more like you're still going to gain experience in the same manner, but the moment to moment gameplay doesn't feel trivial. So you'll still do your whole rotation to kill
the
something.
game keeps up with you.
You know, yeah. Like the biggest thing, it's on the PTR right now. You can go and try it. And people were saying that like you're doing your class rotation as much as you can because you unlock abilities and stuff as you level. But like playing a level 35 warrior is gonna feel mostly the same as playing a level 110 warrior. Like you're still gonna charge, do your shield bash, do your thunderclap, all these different abilities you're gonna use in a certain rotation, in a certain succession to kill something. And it's
the
not just
details
you're
are
not just
different.
gonna one shot everything that you walk up to. So that will help tremendously, I think, especially for people trying to catch up and new players that are just finding the game now and that sort of thing. So
What if
Yeah.
you want to one-shot everything?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to do that? There's like that. I mean, you'll still be able to go back to those zones afterwards and do that. Like if you're 110 and you go back to an old content zone, you'll still just fart on stuff to kill it. But I don't think that gameplay is fun for anyone. I've gone back and leveled a few characters since then, and it is exactly mindless. It's not something that's fun. It just feels like a chore. It feels like this giant gate in between. Okay, I just want to play the current stuff and get this character geared and start doing stuff, and I can't do that because I have to kill 15 boars and do all this stuff, and you miss out on all the actual like good writing and questing and stuff that's in those zones. So,
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
my
weird.
last few characters I had just done dungeon queues
yeah, you
from like 10 to max.
roll a tank or a healer and just
Yep.
just queue up the whole way. Yeah, and that doesn't feel great either. I mean, once you've done the same dungeon 7 times in a row, it's kind of like, okay,
Let's see, that's how I leveled up through Pandaria and whatever the last expansion was called, Warlords.
Warlords of Draenor
It's like, oh, I'm able to enter the new dungeons and queue as tank.
does help. There's a lot of people that don't like playing tanks though, or healers.
Which is why my queues were always instant.
Yep.
Very fast experience that way.
Yeah, I was a priest main, and I would get invites all the time.
Yeah, that was quite a wild time when you had to actually invite people. I remember getting cold called all the time. I'd be standing around trying to check my mailbox or check the auction house, and hey, you wanna tank Zul'Farrak? Sure don't. Go away.
God, that instance was...
Yep.
That was like one of the first like difficult ones.
Yeah.
I remember correctly. Like,
Yeah.
That was one that would just start like just...
The
It would
ton of
punish
ads
you.
you could aggro if you got feared into a pile of those sand corpse burial things. Like it was bad news. Yeah,
oh,
I
yep,
remember
I
that.
remember those.
Yep.
That was always the best part of the game, is doing instances where everyone did their job, and that was always the most satisfying part of that game for me.
And they've added some really cool stuff to those now too. Like there's one where you're fighting in the Halls of Valor with Odin, and he's this just big fiery Norse looking god.
The Allfather?
Yes, the very same, Brian. And yeah, you got to use this Titan relic to like create a big old shield in front of your party, and everyone stands behind that. And there's some cool stuff going on in those dungeons now, the instances. So if you guys wanted to come back, I can get you in. I can tank for you. Do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, it's good. WoW's good. It's a good time to be playing it, and people should check it out. Hey, Luke. Hey, man. You played a big old RPG. One of the biggest.
I dabbled in it.
You dabbled in it?
Yep.
Don't be so modest.
You got all up on it. What did you do? What did you think of Divinity Original Sin 2? DOS 2, as the kids are calling it.
Yeah.
Well, I borrowed it from my family/friend, Brian Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
And
Don't scratch it up. Don't lose the jewel case. Sorry.
I know I've literally only just like scratched the surface of this game because it's a 100+ hour RPG, but it's so well done.
It's good,
Like,
right?
even just the voice acting, the dialogue, how the narrator will describe the actions what someone's doing in front of you while you're talking to that person. There's so much weird stuff that's happening. Like, I'm just in the starting town right now, and a cat's following me around, and I don't know why. And I was
Did
like,
you
man,
do one of the pre-made characters, or did you
I have a
roll
pre-made.
one?
I have the Red Prince.
I did the same. Oh, you asshole.
But
Yeah.
is that the wrong choice? Am I
both
playing my
Red
game wrong?
I played the elf girl who was a former slave, and the Red Prince is like, "Oh, hey, hi, you're a new servant. Come here, get over here, clean my shoes." I'm
Yeah.
just like, fucking no.
The Red Prince is a slaver, yep.
Yep.
But he was disgraced from his house, the House of War. But you don't have to play him as a slaver was the cool part, though. Like, your dialogue options that you have.
But
I mean, yeah, I did. No, I actually haven't with him. He's more of I'm playing him as a honorable nobleman.
always the paladin.
Yeah. But, so I'm playing, and I'm like, oh, like, this cat's following me around. I really wish I had the ability or the perk that let me talk to animals. Like, I'm going to have to get that here pretty soon. So I got a few people in my party and whatnot, and totally forgot that I could just click on one of their portraits, and now I'm playing as that person, and I could just talk to this cat, which I haven't done yet, but that ability is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each character you can play individually.
Yeah. There's
And-
lots of little stuff in the world that's optional that you can miss depending on which abilities you have or don't have or which race you are. Like I think you can play as an undead, as a skeleton.
Yep.
That's super interesting to me.
Fane.
I just didn't want to go weird with it my very first time playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard really cool things about that. Like, if you don't
Like,
have...
you got to wear a bucket on your head.
Yeah, you have to have your head covered up. Like, if you go to shake someone's hand, they're like, oh, that's a real bony hand. What's going on there? You're like, yeah, I don't know, man. But if they find you out, like, the guards all come and, it's just bad news.
Yeah, he seems like a really fun character. I haven't found him yet. He's so spoiler alert, you start off on a ship that gets attacked, and you meet all the other characters that could be in your party, and this Fane guy, the skeleton's like, whatever, no big deal. I'm like, no, like, the ship's gonna sink. I'm like, yeah, I'm a skeleton, whatever. I'll fall to the bottom of the ocean, and I'll just walk over to the beach. Like, whatever, I don't care. It's such an interesting character.
Luke, the gameplay video that you sent me seems to be 15 minutes of just your cursor moving around the screen.
It's 15 minutes of dialogue is what it should be.
There's nothing changing. It's just your cursor
No?
moving. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Oh, that must be a bug in OBS. Because, yeah, I've gone through and I've done stuff.
I've experienced that in OBS, yeah.
Been in combat, and
It's
When I
like,
did,
Yep, this is definitely a bug. So.
when I did
That's
Deep
good
Sky
news.
Derelicts, I did the same thing.
huh?
I
Is it
think I was
crazy?
doing display capture versus doing like game capture.
This is game capture right here.
Maybe it's the other way around.
Oh well.
That's crazy.
Sorry for Twitch chat.
I keep looking at the video like, is he just unsure about clicking continue because it just says you help me with this beast or whatever? And there's one option to continue. You've been just like hovering around it and dancing around like.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into
This
this.
part isn't the hard part, Luke.
Boy, I am 20 minutes into this game and I just don't know what I want to do yet.
There's a lot of options. That's fantastic.
But another thing I really like, and Brian, you can attest to this, is the other people in your party, they have their own goals and their own quests that they will try to achieve while you're doing stuff.
Yeah, some interesting stuff went down between my party members in the I don't know 10 hours or so I played of it.
So I have this rogue in my party, and I come up to another lizard person who's kind of sickly, and talk to the guy. And before we leave, she's like, "Oh, hang on just a minute. I have some business with this guy." So I'm like, "Okay, yep, go ahead, do your thing." She goes over, talks to him, and then stabs him. Like,
Shit.
okay, cool, that's okay. Then we end up going to this other boss guy who kind of runs the camp, and she's like,
Was
"Hang
it
on a minute."
the elf lady used to be a slave lady who did the stabbing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, I remember.
Yep. So then I'm going up to this encampment boss guy, and she's like, "Hang on a minute, before you talk to him, I have some business with him too." I'm like, "Be my guest." So she goes over there, the narrator is like, "Yep, the two talk for a minute or two, and money exchanges hands, and she comes back to you."
That's so cool. So are those quests
Okay.
that you did, Brian, as your elf lady?
Yes.
That is
Yep.
fucking cool.
The dude that she stabbed in the game, I had his name tattooed on me as it's like this person's got to get deleted from existence.
Was that the dreamer?
I think so. I think he was the one who sold me into slavery, if I'm
Wow.
remembering right. So it was rough though. It gets pretty detailed. It was like, okay, you're pressing your knife into his neck. It's starting to bleed. What do you want to do? Do you want to yield? Do you want to go further? Your party members are kind of looking at you.
So that's so cool that you picked her and you had to do that as a quest, and then my guy just standing there letting this happen now.
That's so crazy. There's so many overlapping layers to this game, like that are all working at the same time and happening. That's real interesting.
It seems
to me.
like it's the closest to getting a D&D experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The other part that Brian, you and I talked about before is how the party members enter the party.
yeah, love that.
So I went up to like this conversation, and someone was being threatened by like some bandits or something, essentially. And there's this other character there, and he wants to step in and protect the this chick. So you kind of side over with him, and at the end of the conversation, he wants to join your party, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm trained in the art of survival, and I can detect traps." And he's basically a ranger. He's like, "But I'm proficient in a bunch of other skills too. What do you want me to
Right.
do?"
I
And
know
you can
some
go
magic,
through.
and I can wear some armor and wield a sword for you.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
So it's the options are, yeah, like go ahead and be a ranger. That's cool. Or it's, hey, are you proficient with weapons? Are you proficient at being stealthy? What do you know about magic? And then from there, you could break it down to like fighter, necromancer, summoner, cleric,
Right.
Wow.
And that
assassin,
might-
like whatever you want. And it will just custom make that person to that class.
And that might break the immersion a little bit, but it's great because playing like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, there were NPCs that would come along where it's just like, sweet, don't need, 2 mages and no fighters, but I guess it's what I got.
Right.
Every other RPG like this has been like, all right, I'm gonna make a sword and board fighter. Oh, here's the end of the pre-generated character who's a sword and board fighter, but I really like his story and his character, but now I have two of the same build.
So
This gets rid of that.
So, all the other like pre-made characters have their own stories and stuff. Do you know if that changes if you change their class like that? You know, if it like breaks their storylines and what their goals and stuff are.
I don't think so. I think
no,
you've got
I
some
think it
some
would.
wiggle room.
Gotcha. Okay,
But,
that's cool.
Like, I love making characters in games like this. Like these are the games where I spend an hour doing character creation, choosing skills. But
And
I didn't do that here
hairstyles
because
and tattoos and
none of
no,
that.
oh, just me. Okay.
But the pre-made characters, like you get extra story options
Yeah.
and stuff with the pre-made characters. So that's why I went that way.
What if they don't have the right beard though? Like,
You
There
can
is
still
no right
customize
beard.
them.
You just hit random until you get one that's fine, and then you move on.
yeah,
Tyler, you can still customize them.
yeah. I know. I'm just.
And it's really cool. Like even for a pre-made character, it's just a pre-made story for them.
yeah.
So like
That's
Red
cool.
Prince, I made him as a fighter. I could have him been a summoner or anything else I wanted as
okay,
well. That's
cool.
really cool.
That is cool.
Like you're not tied into it from the start.
So that ranger guy that you found, if you change him into a necromancer, he still maybe has the same goals and whatever. He's just
Yeah.
summoning skeletons instead. Cool.
Now the combat's insanely hard.
Hmm.
Boy, did I die a bunch today with not even getting close to killing them.
There's a
I
lot
went-
going on.
I went into the sewers to do like an arena battle, and it's like, it's like, all right, you only have to fight one battle. Are you going to go in by yourself, or are you people going to go in with you? And I'm like, oh no, we'll fight together.
How many did you have in your party?
I think all four.
Okay.
And yeah, it just got decimated. There's so much going on as far as poison barrels or grease that you then shoot
Right.
fire at to create a big fire pit.
Yeah, there's a lot of environmental stuff. Yeah, you can shoot, like you can summon a storm over someone and then shoot lightning at them. And
hmm Poison clouds. This
Yeah.
is the way the elements all interact together. This is a lot of strategy in the combat. It's not just walk up and swing your sword at them.
It's good. I'm gonna try this. It seems like a good thing. I'm probably do the same thing you did, Brian. Just turn the difficulty down to explorer mode and just play around in that world because it seems really, really cool and well done. So
yeah,
I'm only
it
on
is.
the second highest difficulty, and I'm probably going to be turning it down. I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
have to grind out levels and whatnot to
I just put it
do a
on
simple
Explorer,
combat.
and I just want to have fun.
yeah, seems like a good choice. Well, cool, man. I'm glad somebody else tried it. That's
Yeah, I've got a few weeks to play it to determine if it's going to be game of the year for me.
oh, you think it might be a runner in the running for that, huh?
It's probably going to be in the running. It's
That's cool.
so well made.
Awesome.
I know it's won PC Gamer's Game of the Year award already.
Wow.
Spoilers.
All right. Good stuff, man. Hey, Brian, what's I'm gonna say this wrong. Gorogoa. It's a G. With
It's
some
one of
more
those.
Gs. Yeah. What is this?
It is a puzzle game, the likes of which I've never played before. It's really neat, and I don't generally like puzzle games, but I got this for my wife. And the way this game works is you've got a board that's divided into 4 quadrants. You've got different pieces of artwork that you can drag around and move between the 4 quadrants. It plays with perspective a lot. Like things will change. Like the pictures are layered a lot of the time. Like you'll have a picture that looks like a painting of like let's say it's a window, and there's an apple tree outside the window. Like you go to drag it, and it drags the window away, but leaves the apple tree behind. So the apple tree is a whole new picture and a whole new scene that you can go into that scene, and
Huh.
it's really neat. Like you can combine, like there'll be like an empty lantern, and like if you drag that over like a different panel that's got sunshine in it, like it'll light the lantern up. Now the lantern's lit in that panel.
Yeah, I see you're like zooming in and zooming out on these different images and
hmm
dragging parts of it to get to different things. It seems real cool.
It's really something you got to see to, to get the gist of it. But it's a gorgeous game. Like there's not really any story here. Like it sort of hints at a story. Like I see this dude in a wheelchair and walking around with crutches a lot. There seems to be some sort of, I don't know, like mortality and loss theme behind it, but it's not telling you a story. It's just giving you little hints at it, and I think I'm okay with that.
That's interesting. Is there one solution to get through this stuff, or is this something where, like,
I think
you can
so.
kind
Yeah.
of- Wow.
I think there's one solution, and it's really not my kind of game, but it's cool enough that I'm sticking with it. It's fairly short. I've read a lot of the comments that are like, "Yeah, this took me about 2 hours, but it's worth it." It's a beautiful game and it's a neat experience. This kind of thing can get frustrating for me because sometimes it's like I've got these 7 or 8 things I can look at, and I gotta fit 2 of them together somehow, and I can't figure out how. So I'm just gonna keep on moving them back and forth and looking at them until something clicks, or until I just give it up and come
So
back
something
later.
changes when I move it or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
It's neat. It has a very hand drawn, like colored pencil sketch look to it. It's
Yeah, like artistically, it's impressive. It's gorgeous. Yeah, there's this big like colorful dragon monster thing that sort of lumbers past every now and again. I'm not sure if that thing's a good one or a
friend
bad
or a
one.
foe.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'll worry about that later.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
It's on the Steam.
Cat's enjoying it, and it's on my Steam. It's probably I would say it's a single sitting game if you're wired to enjoy these kind of things, and if not, if you're like me, it's a 15 minutes at a time game.
Gotcha. That's cool, man.
Seems to be a good example of taking breaks and coming back, helping so far. I'll get tired of banging my head against it and then come back, a couple hours later and be like, oh, these two work together.
Good stuff. Cool. Goragoa. Go. Go get it right now.
It's a weird name, but it's neat.
So neat.
I think it's on the Switch too, and that seems like that would be an ideal way to do this.
I'm so glad to be seeing like all these cool indie games coming to the Switch. It's exciting. Well, speaking of something that's not coming to the Switch, but it's still good, and to keep a theme going here, I played some Overwatch this week, you guys. Just a little bit, but enough to get to experience the Winter Wonderland.
You sure do love your Blizzard holiday events, don't you?
I'm a sucker for it, dude.
Blizzard shill.
Yeah, sponsors Blizzard.
Give us some free loot boxes or something.
Oh, just give me that Ana skin. She's got a winter skin that gives her like this snow owl mask, and it looks so freaking cool, and I want it real bad.
Masks usually look bad.
It's not bad. It's very cool.
It's not bad.
This is I gotta skip ahead because this is like a good 10 minutes of me dressing all my dollies for winter times here. I'm going through and equipping all the winter skins that I've unlocked over the last year.
Well, it's more exciting than my video, at least.
Okay, here we go. Where's the gameplay? Oh, so yeah, Winter Wonderland's here. They've brought back all the holiday skins. The best one that I have is the Nutcracker Zenyatta. It makes him look like a nutcracker. It's real good. But
Boy, Tyler.
they've added they've added two new. Well, they have two different holiday modes. One of them is new. One of them has been modified a little bit. So the first one is called Yeti Hunt, and 5 players get to play as May, and 1 player gets to play as Winston, and it's basically like the game Evolve. You guys remember Evolve? It was kind of this asymmetrical gameplay. So
Yeah, I think I know it.
Many versus one.
yeah, so it starts off. It's much quicker than a game of Evolve. Like the rounds take like 5 minutes maybe. But your team of Mays, they change the ultimate. Normally May throws Snowball out, her little droid, and it spits a bunch of ice around and freezes everybody. In this mode, it sets a Yeti trap, and if Winston walks into it, it snaps on him and holds him into place. You're trying to catch Winston and get him before he collects enough meat around the map to turn into his big like Hulk mode, his big red angry monkey mode. And if he gets 4 of those, the game switches, and instead of hunting him, he's trying to get you now. He's super huge, tough. He's hard to kill. He can jump all over the map, and he kills you pretty quick if he finds you. If all the Mays die, you lose. If Winston dies, you win, depending on what you're playing. And it's a lot of fun. I played probably a good 5 or 6 different rounds of this. Seemed to be pretty back and forth. Like I played May all the times. I didn't get to be a Winston, but we got him twice, I think, in the play session that I was in. So it seemed pretty balanced.
Seems good.
You can go either way. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like you'll be all 5 ganged up on him and all pumping your freeze ray into him, and you think like, oh cool, we got him. And then he gets that last meat, and it just flips, and it just says "run for your life" on the screen, and you got to just book it out of there and try to escape. So there's this really cool back and forth gameplay, and once he loses that buff, the hunt's back on, and you're back to trying to hunt him down.
It's like Pac-Man.
It is. It's a lot like Pac-Man. Yeah, you're a bunch of ghosts. There's a big old Pac-Man on the board. That's a really good analogy, Brian. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed my time with it. I'll probably play some more of it, try to get some more of those sweet holiday loot boxes. The other mode is May's Snowball Fight, which they brought back from last year. So once again, everybody's May, and you get a one-shot snowball that fires out of your gun, and you only have 1 round of ammunition, so you get 1 shot and it's gone. And they hide little snow piles all across the map, and you have to suck up snow into it to make a new snowball to get to shoot it again. And it's single death elimination. It's basically as soon as you get tagged,
snowballed and you're out.
Yep. And that mode's pretty good too. It's basically dodgeball, and inside of Overwatch. And I played a few rounds of that as well. And they redid one of the other maps. I think it's the Black Forest map. It's one of their deathmatch arena ones, and kind of reskinned it so it's in this holiday theme of everything's covered in snow and all that, and it looks really pretty. I'll skip ahead to it a little bit here, but yeah, man, it's cool that they keep adding these little fun events that change the game up. It's kind of all I play in Overwatch now. I don't play the game regularly enough to really care about the ranked mode or any of that, but I like showing up and playing a few rounds during the holidays. Holiday events seem to be really good, and they offer kind of that arcade style gameplay that I like. I don't take it real seriously, and I just have a good time.
Overwatch seems like it's a winner for them.
For sure, yeah.
Seems like it's exactly what you hoped it would be.
And it uses a business model that I can get behind. You buy the game for $40 and you're done. If you want to spend more money on the cosmetic stuff, you can. But you don't have to. You get all the updates for free. Seems like, that would be a hard model to keep around, but I'm sure enough people dump money into those loot boxes to keep it going and keep the new content coming. And
apparently.
And it doesn't get you anything, doesn't get you any kind of advantage or anything, so it's not, something that's feels bad. It doesn't feel toxic or unbalanced or anything like that, so. Yeah. There's a new hero in the game, Moira. I haven't played her yet, but I saw her in there and was like, oh shit, yeah, I haven't tried her out yet. It's her and Doomfist I haven't really put any time into, the 2 newer heroes, so. Yeah, man, I'm cool to be back into it. I might log some more hours throughout the week here and play around with some of the content that I've missed so far. So. Blizzard just killing it with these holidays. I think there's stuff going on in Heroes too, new skins and probably a new brawl and all that.
Yeah, there's some holiday skins. I think Vala got a elfy looking skin.
Oh yeah, little Santa's helper kind of thing.
Yep, I'm trying to remember the other one. Someone else got a new skin. I can't remember.
We've never been this out of Heroes since its release.
It's been a month since I played a match.
Yeah.
Like there's a free holiday loot box. I logged in and opened it. I spent the max amount of money re-rolling it and was disappointed. Logged back out.
Yep, that loot boxing can go either way. During the holiday event for Overwatch, I opened the the brand new Reaper skin that was really cool, like my first freebie loot box. I was like, okay, all right, guys, let's see what else is in here. I played for a while, and in this mode, I haven't opened a single cool thing yet. So I think I've opened like 4 loot boxes, and I'm just like, okay, maybe
More
I don't
sprays.
care. Yeah, it's a bunch of sprays and avatars and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Blizzard knows how to suck you back in, get you back interested in this stuff. So there you go, Overwatch, get after it. Brian, you played some Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
it's all snowy too. It's a snowy
Yep,
area in the game.
Yep, friend of the show, Rob, gifted this to me. I think he maybe got it in a Humble Bundle. It's an awful lot like the 2013 Tomb Raider. Like, I haven't played that one in a while, but it feels exactly the same to me, at least in my memory. Just like the controls and the feel of it.
It looks like a direct sequel to it, or is it a
Yeah.
is it a sequel in the storyline? Do you know?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
Okay, it's fine.
I know Lara Croft is after a ancient relic.
Checks out.
Spoilers.
It's Tomb Raider game then.
Yeah, it's this like her father's work. He was after the divine source, which is supposed to be this source of everlasting life. And I think people kind of thought he was a crackpot, and she's picking up his work, and of course there's bad people after it too. It seems to have a good cadence between, like, you've got these scenes where you're infiltrating a base or something, and you've got enemies to fight, and then you're going through a tomb and looting a tomb and solving puzzles in a tomb, and it's got some cutscenes thrown in there. I'm really enjoying it so far. This isn't my kind of game generally, and that might be part of why I'm digging it as much as I am, because I feel like these kind of games are kind of like, there was a lot of these, at least for a while.
Mhm.
Like, this feels, like Far Cry and that kind of thing.
Horizon.
Yeah, these kind of open
Yeah.
world, lots of icons. There's a ton of stuff to find and collect. There's crafting. There's lots of little treasures to find, and you get XP and you gain levels and you get skills. But it's really well done, and I'm enjoying it.
I
Enjoying
liked-
it
I
quite a
liked-
lot so far.
I liked the previous one a lot too. I never finished it, but I enjoyed the time I spent with it, and yeah, I've heard good things about
Yeah.
this one too. So that's cool.
Yeah, she's most of my memory from the last one I played was Lara Croft gets roughed up quite a lot. Like, she finds herself in some real bad ways. Like, there was one of the early scenes that had a real, like, rapey vibe going on.
Mhm.
Like, she's tied up and the dude's getting real close to her in her face, and I'm just like,
And then she gets knocked
this is
out.
getting
and-
real
yeah,
unpleasant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember being real disturbed by that, and there
Yeah.
was like creepy
Girl,
dudes in
seen some shit.
caves, and there's a part where you're like falling down the side of a mountain. She gets like gored by a stick, just impaled by it. And I'm
Yep,
like,
I remember heating up an arrowhead and,
God damn.
sticking it on the wound.
yeah.
Isn't there a scene or something where you're going down a river and end up getting stuck under a log or something too?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that.
There's
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't need that in my games.
it worked. It was I remember
It's very well done.
there's
It's-
one moment where you walk into this room. It's like this it's like a church, and you get caught in a foot snare, like Looney Tunes style, and
Mhm.
flipped upside down, and then all of a sudden just a bunch of dudes start coming. I'm like,
You're
oh,
hanging upside down, shooting at people.
yep, trying to shoot myself free and get down from here. And yeah, there's a lot of real tense moments in that first one. So yeah, it looks good, man. How's it run? It looks like it's kind of chugging along there in a few places.
Runs okay. Like, I think I turned it down from high to medium, and it's like, still looks good, and it runs a little better. So
That's cool. Yeah,
yeah, it's an excellent game.
it looks real pretty. I remember when I first got my think I first got my 770 was when I was running that game. I can't remember now. But anyway, I remember like the hair textures and stuff, and like the tessellation effects and all that were really well done, and just it's a good looking game. It was fun to play.
Yep. And you've got
Just
some
surprising 'cause
customization and how you play it.
I like that they've taken this direction with this series because
Yeah.
I never
a little
took the
more
two.
serious minded.
Yeah, I never took the Tomb
No,
Raider games seriously before the last one in like
2013, I think it was. Yeah, kind of the reboot of the series. Because early on, it was one of those like embarrassing kind of like I'm gonna play this girl with guns and huge titties, and she's just gonna kill everything. And look at that ass. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, thank you.
Yep.
I think I'm good.
Yep. Cool, man. I think that rounds out what we've been playing this week. Did I miss anything? I think we're good.
Yeah, Rob's saying it's a little closer to Uncharted now. That
Seems like a good
seems
fit.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in tone.
Yep. Agreed. Well, hey, man. Let's talk about some news, huh? We got news. Oh shit! Autoplay video. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, it's the news. PUBG.
The news.
PUBG is free with Xbox One X for a limited time only. Get it while it's hot. PUBG, if you're not familiar, is the awesome acronym that I love very much for Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, which isn't actually a better title either. It's an insanely popular battle royale style game that is just recently released on the Xbox One.
It's in their early access, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they call it, but I hear
Game
it's
preview.
real fucking rough. Real rough so far.
Yeah, there's actual disc copies on shelves that say like preview edition or something like that. Yeah, I keep hearing it doesn't run great on the Xbox One. So
I hear some people who've never played it are like, yeah, this is okay. And people who've played it on PC are just like, nope, this is garbage.
yeah, it sounds like it's not even like I think a lot of
It's
people
not
were expecting.
optimized.
Yeah, it's not optimized. I think people were expecting to be like some parity between the versions that were, was on available on PC and what they were releasing on consoles. And I keep hearing that like no, the Xbox version is like several ones behind, several iterations back, and they're still struggling to get it running well. So on the one hand, cool that like I think they said they have like something like 1 million players log in and check it out, which. That's really good for the game. It's good exposure. I'm sure Xbox owners are happy to have something new to play and something, somewhat console exclusive to them for right now. So
I wish I liked shooters because this game is so appealing. Like it's just so intense and it's really neat. But I know it's not for me.
yeah, the the closest thing that I have ever played to anything like this is Rust, and some of my favorite gaming memories period are from Rust. So there's some this is obviously a more
Condenses that into a
condensed
short
version. Yeah. But yeah, that gameplay of like, okay, if you die you're out is very, very stressful but also engaging. And knowing that there's 100 other people out there when you start and just trying to get as far as you can, like,
right.
It's a cool
Going into a house and not knowing if anyone's waiting inside for you.
Like, yep, peek behind that shower door and there's a dude with a shotgun. Yep, it's exciting. So I want to check it out eventually. I'll probably wait for it to hit full release on PC, which I think it's pretty close to.
Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be this month. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll try to find it on a deal or something and check that out. But
I want to say full price is like $30, isn't it? It's not a $60 game, is it?
Well, I don't know if that's the early access price or not, but
maybe.
I think that's what it is right now. So yeah, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Check it out. Check it out now. Yeah. So Rob's saying he thinks there's just codes in a box. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's weird.
Either way,
that's weird when they do that.
Either way, that's kind of strange. But yeah, so there you go. Red Dead. There's Red Dead content in GTA Online. Luke.
Yeah, a little bit of cross promotion going on, huh?
Little cross promotion, yeah. So it sounds like there's a mission that's popping up for GTA Online players that allows them to get this like dual action revolver gun, and then you have to like complete a headshot challenge with it, and that unlocks the gun in Red Dead Redemption 2 when that releases. So what do you think about
Cool.
that? Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that doing a little bit of cross promotion between the game, but
Why not? I guess.
yeah, it's fine. I'm more actually intrigued by the thing you didn't mention, which is if you do the headshot challenge, you get $250 in GTA Online,
Oh,
which is nothing to sneeze at.
$250 or $250,000?
$250,000.
Okay, that's a little different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say $250. It won't buy you.
That won't get you a new shirt in GTA Online.
Yeah.
No, 250K is
Yeah,
about a quarter of a hypercar in the game, so that's not bad.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean it's neat. I don't know if they're planning on doing this, but it kind of alludes to Red Dead Redemption Online being a thing.
It does, and it also. They didn't say whether or not this is available on the PC version. I assume it is, but they still have not announced a PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2. So hopefully, hopefully this is almost confirmation of that. Like at this point, it seems like it would be insane if they didn't eventually have a version for the PC. But I don't know, man. I'm still worried about that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah.
If it does come out, it'll be like a year to 18 months later, probably. But
Yikes.
whatever, it's just a weapon that gets tied to your Rockstar account, and if you happen to have Red Dead Redemption 2 on whatever platform, you also have the gun.
Yeah, it'll be tied to your Rockstar, GT profile or whatever they call it, with Social Club. It's probably linked to
Social
that.
Club.
So cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap us up, guys.
I threw one more
You did.
news article
You
in
did.
there.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
Snuck one in.
Yeah. This is a big one. I'm glad you reminded me about this. Titan Quest is coming to the Switch and the PS4 and the Xbox One. What?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
It is weird.
This game did not get this much press and attention when it was released and brand new, and here it
Yeah,
is
it
12
wasn't.
years later. We've had a massive patch for it. We've had a new expansion out for it, and now we're getting an anniversary edition with a statue helmet, and now it's coming to different platforms. What
Right.
year is it?
Yeah.
It looked real good at the time. Looks Look, a
It's
12-year-old
real
game now.
dated right now,
yeah.
I don't know if this edition they're going to redo all the textures and everything.
I'd like to think so.
I know the anniversary edition for PC they redid some of the effects, but it's still real rough.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic game. But here they are selling it for $120 for collector's edition. I believe it is.
Yeah.
So
They've got.
it's a
Gotta be a-
12-year-old game that's selling for $120.
So
There's got to be a small market for that. People who are diehard Titan Quest fans.
I
Right,
love
but-
the game, but I'm not going to buy it for a third time.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, I have to assume that this has something to do with THQ Nordic, like it being branched off into its own thing, and like them reacquiring a bunch of licenses and stuff. Like, it has to have something to do with that, and then them releasing it on like current consoles.
I don't know
In
if
a
it's
box
just, hey, there's not a
edition.
lot of those out there.
Yeah, but I mean, to put it to like port it to the PS4 and the Xbox One, to not
Yeah.
just be a PC thing, like they've got to imagine that they're going through and updating that stuff. So that's cool. Like, I think that's neat that they're doing that. I don't have any problem with them reselling a 12-year-old game. It says the standard edition will cost $30 and will include both the base game and the Immortal Throne expansion. So
It's
there you go.
I don't know how it will play on
That's
a,
all right.
a console though with a controller, because if I remember correctly, this is one of the games that like 1 through 9, you had your abilities on a toolbar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, left click, right click, had the different abilities, and I mean Diablo 3 that was pretty much designed around being on a console, but this one wasn't. So
Well, they had to
good luck.
do quite a bit of reworking to make that work with a controller, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you still had your 4 main buttons and stuff.
Yes.
It wasn't. But I mean, you can still get pretty granular with that. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Having a portable Diablo-like game might be kind of cool on the Switch.
I was gonna say, Tyler, would you pick this up on the Switch?
Maybe. I don't know. I never played Titan Quest, so that's kind of appealing to me.
The skill tree was the draw there.
The skill tree
as I
was
recall,
amazing.
you had what was it, 8 different masteries to choose from. Luke, remind me.
That sounds about right.
And like you could choose 2 of them, and that would give you like a third blended skill tree based on the 2 that you chose.
That sounds cool.
Which, if it's customizable, yeah, I'm into that.
I mean,
yeah, and you could go into like one mastery more than the other, and you'll focus on one or just have one as a backup. And
if they just want to make D3 available on my Switch, I would kind of probably prefer that. To be honest, but I don't know. It's just me. But yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that it exists, and I will wait to see some reviews and stuff. But like, that's neat. Didn't you say the new expansion is all like Norse themed and?
yes,
Yeah,
I bought it, but I haven't
selling
dabbled
point.
into it. But that expansion is not the one that's being released.
Oh,
Yeah,
Is it the original expansion, the Immortal
The
Throne?
Immortal Throne is the first expansion that came out like 11 years ago.
oh. So then, assuming this version will also get that expansion when it becomes available, huh?
Yeah, it'll probably be an expansion for it. Yep.
Wow, cool.
I
Long live Titan Quest.
I played original Diablo on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I still can't believe that.
And
Still blows my
Warcraft,
mind.
didn't you? Or not Warcraft?
Warcraft 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Civilization 2. I played a lot of classic PC games on my PlayStation 1.
There you go. There's a market for it.
Didn't have a PC.
That's a pretty good reason to do that. Well, hey, thanks for showing up in the chat there, Rob. Appreciate your input. Everybody else that listens to the show, feel free to jump in with us live. I know it's late. It's 11 p.m. plus that we usually get started, but we do this every week, usually Saturday nights.
We're crazy.
Here, and yeah, it's a good time. Come in, hang out in the chat, say hi, let us know what you're playing. We'd really appreciate it. You can also get a hold of the show by email. I don't know if you've heard of that. Email is a pretty neat little thing. You can send an email to No, don't do that. Send it to mail@questlogcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter @questlogcast, and you can get the show at questlogcast.com. I say questlog and cast a lot during this outro. Man, it's a gauntlet. Anyway,
Branding.
yeah. It's a lot of branding. Hey man, come back next week, won't you? For episode 59. It's all gonna come together just like this one did, and it'll be a good time. So for me, for Brian, and for Luke, thank you for joining us.
Don't
We'll
speak for
see
me.
you next week. And Star Wars,
Don't you
Go-
presume to speak for me, sir.
go see Star Wars and tell us we're wrong. Email us, tell us we're wrong about Star Wars.
I want to be wrong. I want this to actually be a good movie. And no,
It's
I won't
fine.
say it.
Yeah, no,
Won't
we're
say it. I
just
won't
started
spoil it.
playing. We gotta just
Bye,
bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Take care.